Live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your host MB and K Lou. And we got what's going on? We got the regular crew in the building, Double A, the Haven, and man, crying in Carolina. Boy, y'all just can't get right, huh?
No.
Boy, he changed his name more outfits than Janet Jackson changed on it when she did the thing, or they do a whole
Cam,
man. You
could have made a Cam reference. Oh, you missed it. Do it again.
Maybe what?
You could have made a Cam reference instead of Janet Jackson. Then when it was fit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cam changed more outfits than Cam.
Huh? We'll do it live.
Well, Jason, what's going on in Carolina twice?
Oh, man. Serious question or just joking?
No, I'm serious.
Sam Darnold ain't. Sam is who we thought he was. He's seeing ghosts again. Honestly, man, I don't think he was ready to play. I think he felt the pressure to rush back because he knew P.J. Walker behind him wasn't it. So as much as I want to dump on him, and he deserves the blame for playing poorly, he probably shouldn't have been playing. He didn't look – I'm not even saying look well. He didn't even look like the good version of himself for any second of any down. He should not have been on the field.
And then you saying crying in Carolina, I think you ain't just stopping there. Even on a win, what do you think about them Clemson Tigers?
Man, it's a defensive football team. We're just not, like I said, DJ does not have what it takes to deliver in crunch time. I don't know. It's got to be mental. He's got the physical talents. I think we're going to struggle through this year. We probably got one more loss in us somehow. And next year when Cade hits campus, it'll be just like when Kelly Bryant was here. Thank you for your service, DJ. But
wow. So he's immediately in the transfer portal and after the season.
Yeah, for sure. And it's nobody's fault.
Where do you think he lands? Does he end up at Oklahoma?
No,
he can't go there now because they got a young guy.
Well, KB went to Missouri, but I think probably JUCO, man. I don't know. What big program?
No, stop it.
Okay. Oh, MB, don't laugh because the calendar hits quick, and when I'm like, hey, where's he at? Yeah, that could happen this time next year.
Not JUCO.
What? Bro, you got too many options to go JUCO. That makes no sense.
Does he have what options with everybody has seen what we've seen?
You got 128 Division I schools out there. He can play for somebody. He ain't got.
We'll take him, MB. We'll take him at Duke.
Okay.
He ain't got to leave. Duke can take him. So you ain't got to. JUCO, that ain't even an option, man. This ain't no second chance.
Okay,
this ain't no second. What is second chance?
If you're at a school, okay,
it ain't that bad.
You have to ask yourself about DJ. Here's what you're going to ask yourself: does he have the physical talents? Yes. Was he getting the right coaching? You're going to have to say yes, even outside of the offensive coordinator's game plan. He did get the right coaching. It's not like he's going to get markedly better coaching somewhere else. Okay, he might get different, but it won't be that much better. So then. That means the problem is going to be the one thing that you can't guarantee you can fix. You know what I mean? It's mental. So until somebody can fix that, and only DJ can, he's not pulling the trigger. They adjusted the game plan. He's getting the right coaching. He's just not pulling the trigger. What it's going to be hubris to think that you could do different somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think it's all his fault, man. I think they got to get more 5 stars around him, man.
They got him. How much more?
Piggybacking on that,
5 stars around him to get him play.
The fact that he's a 5-star says that he lands somewhere else, Jason.
If you could take a star away, that's all I'm saying. Like if you could, I've been saying it from the beginning. It's not just the stars; you got to develop them. And he didn't.
I think develop. No, hold on. No, I thought you guys say once they 5 stars, that's it, baby. Develop, man. 5 stars say they ready to go, man. Just add the water. Come on, bro. Don't use my term develop. No.
Okay,
5 stars it's the oatmeal, baby. They ready to go. When you 5-star, they ready to go.
Out the box.
They get off the bus on fire.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I know you like you on top of you the Clemson expert, but he needs some more help, man. I mean, you can't. He needs some help around him. Give him a chance. You know. I'm not. I don't think they. I'm not ready to kick it to the curb.
Well, he got the best running back in college football. Shit. What else can you ask for?
He's missing throws. He's missing throws. What more help? I mean, he's just not putting the ball where it needs to be. I don't know. Did y'all watch that game against Louisville?
No, I didn't, Jason.
There was wide open receivers not getting the ball thrown to him. There was running lanes he wasn't taking. Now that's because he hurt his foot.
Okay, Lou, I'll take this opportunity to tell you this is the first time in a long time that Miami's got the talent. They're just very young. We're going to be leading that ACC, whether it's this year or next year. They're back. They're loaded on offense. Not on D, not the defense, but on offense.
There you go.
We haven't had a quarterback like this in 20 years. At least.
Well, you know what? Hey, on that note, we about to start. He's a problem. I'm going with Miami, Sissy. Thank you, Don King, man, for promoting. We're going right into it, man. Hey, that quarterback, Tyler Van Dyke, a.k.a. TV Dinner, man, 22 for 34, 389 yards, 3 touches, 0 interception to lead the Hurricanes over the Georgia Tech 33-30. Hey, and you know how they do it. He's the quarterback, man. I guess since AA, he promoted him like Don King over there. But I'll give him the 3 consecutive games with 325 yards or more passing since Bernie Kosar. All right? But I ain't ready to crown him Bernie Kosar just yet. All right? But, hey, it's trifecta, though. Jalen Knighton, a.k.a. the Rooster. Career high, 32 carries, 162 yards, 1 touches, moving those chains, getting it done. And then my man, Charleston Rambo, getting it, Rambo, getting it done once again. 7 catches, K-Lou, 210 yards, 30-yard average, and 1 touch. Hey, man, the triplets are getting it done again, 3 games in a row. Those Hurricanes, here's the problem.
Wow.
I'll give you the wrinkle.
Got work to do.
Well, we got a lot of work to do. We are young, but this guy Rambo almost broke Eddie Brown's record. You're going back 40 years.
Y'all done ran out of players. MB named them all.
No, they're there.
We got a lot of work to do to get where we need to be. But I'd rather anytime, like I say, anytime it close we get a win. You know how I'm choosing for a player of the game.
Well, look, man, let me tell y'all, this NCAA and that passing game is out of control. I couldn't choose. Why? Because every receiver in college football this week went over 170 yards. Jordan Addison, Hassan Baden, Bryce Singleton, Charleston Rambo. So Miami get another shout out. Devin Tompkins, David Bell, Jackson Smith, and Jimba, who at Ohio State, I watched that game, Jason. He was out of control the whole game, and it wasn't big catches. It was just consistency. Jahan Dotson, Jack Sorensen, and Trayvon Rudolph that topped this group with 14 receptions, 309 yards, and 3 touches. This is out of control, man. 171, 197, 199, 210, 215, 217, 240, 242, 283. Who is playing defense?
Nobody.
I'm going to skip all the way to the next segment, MB. Every DB in college football, they clown. My goodness.
Man, they were just playing Madden this weekend.
Golly.
They created a super player. God,
everybody went. The bottom dude thought he had a helmet sticker and 171, and he finished last.
Exactly.
On the leaderboard.
It's crazy.
171 yards. You got something to talk about.
The only team playing defense is Georgia. They let up 2 field goals. They didn't even let up a touchdown against Missouri. Not a big school, but
yeah, definitely. Those receivers, they're a problem.
Oh yeah.
Trent say y'all in trouble, MB. Say Rambo going to the league.
Oh, he's gone. But we got more. They got some young guns there.
You say he gone, MB.
Yeah. Let him go. He need to go. He better go. He need to. DeHaven, what you got, man? He's a problem. Who you got for college football, baby?
K-Lou kind of shouted him out. I watched a lot of that Purdue and Michigan State game.
Yeah.
Purdue had no running game, and David Bell just went crazy, beating the number 3 team in America. What was it, 11 catches, 217?
Yep.
He just went off. It's like every time Aiden McConnell
like everybody else, huh, DeHaven?
Like everybody, that wasn't even the most. But I just like that win for them because they beat the number 3 team in the country.
Right.
I thought that was big. So I'll go with David Bell.
Yeah.
Even though the quarterback threw for like 500 yards. So, but still, I thought that was beating the number 3 team in the country like that was big.
Yeah. He deserved a couple of shout outs,
Yeah. He's definitely proud. He deserved a couple shots. You're right about that, B.
Carolina, man. Who you got, man?
We doing pros or college first?
We're doing college, baby. He's a problem.
For me, it's the whole program of Purdue. I tell y'all all the time. I said it. Purdue was going to knock off someone this year. I didn't think
every year. You cheat,
but they keep doing it. Like
they did it twice this year.
Actually, I said every other, and yes, they did do it twice this year. I thought we'd already got our once a year out of them, but for missing last year, they got us another one. So, boy, I'm telling you, those Boilermakers find a way to get up for no reason with nothing to play for, and they will just. I don't know. I guess if you're bored in Indiana, you got nothing else to do but play football twice a year. But they did it. I did not think that was the game they would knock off. But hey, man, good for them. Good for them. They find a way every year to finish 7-5, 6-6, but one Super Bowl every year. At home,
somebody's dream.
Exactly, Dave.
Hey, we can't get it ourselves. We'll keep you. But good for them. Good for them for consistently, making people pay for overlooking them. I don't think they will anymore. If for nothing else, they won't anymore.
Man, y'all may Purdue sound like Duke University in football, man.
There we go. Hey,
they got. Hey, listen, Duke. Hey,
there we go.
Purdue is 6-3 now. Y'all act like they got the other way around. They 6-3. They 6-3 this year. So I mean, they got a good team. I mean, they beat Iowa. They got Iowa. Yeah. They call Iowa sleeping. So you're right though. I mean, they getting it done, but they head in the right direction.
Do they have the best 2 wins in college football this year? Really?
I mean, you talking about back to back like that?
I mean, they've got 2 top 5 wins.
Yeah.
Who else does?
Yeah. No, nobody else.
Well, Oregon's got one of them if Ohio State can run the table against both Michigan teams. So,
but if technically they've got the best resume.
Being unranked to beat two top 5 teams,
Why are they still unranked?
Right. They not after this year. After this they'll be back in there because they beat Iowa. They came back. They had appearance in top 25, and they ended up having a bad loss, and then now they'll be back in.
Have they played Ohio State yet?
Next week. I think Saturday, right?
Okay.
What's that?
They play Ohio State Saturday, don't they?
Let me see.
What if they win?
Yes.
They won't, Jason.
It's in Columbus, though, Jason.
You do not like Ohio State, Jason, but you just don't look at their history, man.
But what if they do? They beat them the year before last.
Yeah.
Hey, they remind me of Kansas in the Big 12 in basketball. Every year, there's supposed to be 3-4 teams in the Big 12. And finally, Baylor did it last year. But generally speaking, I don't care if Kansas lose 3-4 games in the conference, they still end up right there at the top of the conference. And I just look at Ohio State the same way. Like, think about it. The L in the beginning of the season, the young quarterback, all of us thought, man, this the year they fall to the bottom. And look what's happening, man. And yeah, they're winning ugly. But I tell you something, a lot of those championship teams at the end of this go back to those ugly wins and say that was the difference.
Yeah.
And Clemson did the same thing. What was it, against NC State or somebody? A couple, 3 years ago, Jason, something like that?
Several times. We'll just get an ugly win that solidifies.
Yeah.
That's part of the game.
And
that's the one Dabo points back to that changed, the trajectory of the season.
Purdue by 30.
Oh, no, UNC too, Jason.
Yeah, they barely beat UNC. They barely beat UNC. UNC had them on the ropes. Yeah.
Vegas has
Brown
Ohio
first year
State as a 3-touchdown favorite.
Oh man, Vegas just daring those Boilermakers to show up, just daring them.
Yeah. Hey, listen, Ohio State will not overlook them. They can't overlook anyone because they're a team that has to play, as a team to win. Because you can say Olave is a star. You can say Njiba or Jiba is a star. But their running game was atrocious Saturday. Like, I just didn't understand it. And, we've seen them where they get on the field and nobody can stop them from running. Like, they had to throw the ball every down. Like, it was that kind of game.
But their coaches, they made a couple bad decisions on Saturday, too, though. Like throwing it when they're at the 30-yard line and getting a sack and almost fumbled it.
Right.
Ryan Day's kind of been a little off his game, this year more than others. Like, I don't know why Stroud is throwing 57.
I don't necessarily think it's Day. He's playing well. You can say that. Yeah, I'll take that back because he is playing with a young quarterback at the same time. He's good, but he's young, so that's gonna come with the great throws he's made. He's gonna make some bonehead throws just because of the youth.
Well, for me, Day, he's a pass first guy. You got to make him call a run and play. And I remember last year it was like he just kept passing, and I was like, run the ball. And he finally Big Ten championship, run the ball to do break the record. He wants to pass. He likes to pass that thing, man.
Master T, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
He was on the 30-yard line with 1 minute 30 seconds left, and he dropped back for a pass. And dude,
that's what I'm saying. He be doing some stuff like that where you be like, man, just run the ball. Take what the defense give you. Just run the ball. That's what's working.
They recovered the fumble. They got lucky. They got lucky. They recovered that fumble.
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to get by either one of those Michigan teams?
Both of them.
No problem.
Definitely Michigan.
I don't know.
Michigan State, man. I don't know.
Did they fix the issues on defense? Because I know Florida right now they fired their DC, but shoot, they took away the play calling from their DC.
I don't know. Looked like Martinez was running all over. Martinez looked like he was running all over them Saturday.
Right, that's what I'm saying though. I mean, they defense, offensively they improved a lot, man, especially with young quarterback. But defensively, man, I don't know. I don't know if they got that fixed just yet. Where we consider them a no-brainer. So I don't know. Especially styles make fights. And just the fact that Michigan like to run the ball the way they do and stuff like that, Michigan State, both of them. I don't know, man.
Did you catch that?
I think they, like I said earlier, man. That Big Ten conference they got a lot of rated team, and it's like how we say NFL, any given Sunday or any given Saturday, somebody in there can take an L.
The thing though with those two teams you just named in Michigan that they can't depend on, Ohio State can hang their hat on. And you just named it, MB, throwing the football.
Yeah.
When they definitely have 3 pros out there on Ohio State team, 2 wide receivers and a quarterback. Can you say the same on the other 2 teams? And that's where I think, although Michigan State can run the heck out of the ball, and they stole one of our ACC guys to get it done, but they can run the heck out of it. It's quicker to get the ball down there in the air. And it's just do a shootout, they're in trouble.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If they running the ball, managing clock, man, it's all it takes. Get a turnover, get something like that, change the game. Still
that's
possession
true.
Here and there. So I don't know. When you talk about this, man, I'm old school defense win championship. Even though you got to have some form of defense. And Ohio State has the talent. Man, but they just gotta defensively. They gotta take it to the next level, man. They gotta prove their defense, to be in that. So that's what I'm saying. With that Big Ten, I mean, you're right. Passing wise, the quarterback, he improved all season, but that defense, you need some defense when you start getting.
I think y'all get on Ohio State so bad because y'all always look ahead and you get to that Final Four already. I think y'all blaming them for their mishaps once they get out of their conference, but they just never have that many problems in their conference. Just tell me when.
No. I mean, for me, I'm just saying this year defensively. I mean, they were horrible early in the season, and
right, but they're getting better. They're getting better, and yes, who doesn't have problems with running quarterbacks? Most teams do, so that's not nothing new. And Martinez, made him pay a few times. He also got hit a lot and got sacked a lot. Like that's kind of
Martinez got Frost a renewed contract.
Restructured.
Yeah, but K-Lou, to me, it's just not the running.
I didn't think he'd make it through the year.
Yeah, hey, K-Lou, and I agree with you. Yeah, running quarterback is definitely an issue. I mean, you look at Alabama, the heyday they had. That's one of their kryptonites was facing running quarterback. But it's just not running quarterbacks. Early in the season, it was just stopping the run. Their defense looked terrible. I was like, man, this is bad. Because Oregon quarterback, he was a running quarterback, but passing wise, he was so limited. Man, they was just giving up everything. I was like, man, what's wrong? They schemed them. They did this. I was like, man, that DC's gonna be out of there. Sure enough, he was out of there.
See what I'm saying? We still talking about week 1, and we talking about teams out of their conference.
No, I'm not saying.
I'm just saying. Again, argue with me with some teams that done beat them. Big Ten. That's what we're talking about. We're in conference.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying in the past. I'm just saying to win the championship, get where they need to be, they need to prove the defense. And not the only one like Oklahoma.
The big championship. Well. Yeah, I think you're still talking about the big championship.
No, I'm talking about the Big Ten. I think what I saw on defense, I think that this is the year where somebody can get up on them, because it's not like they go undefeated though in the Big Ten. They took some L's as well. Every now and then, some teams will creep on. They'll get it like
we also thought that when Cardale Jones took over.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
we see what that got us.
Where's Cardale now? Welcome to Popeyes. Can I take your order?
When they get hit in the chin, who beat them last year? Like Wisconsin, somebody beat them last year. They get caught in the chin, here and there.
Last year, who was it?
I don't remember.
I don't know. Who did beat them last year?
I don't think
somebody beat them in the regular season and they came back, huh?
Oh, okay. Well, maybe so. Maybe so. Alabama gets beat too.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Where do they end up?
In their conference. They gotta prove the defense though.
I'm saying, where do they end up in their conference?
Yeah, but you know what, K-Lou, that's what I'm saying. To me, the Big Ten is very competitive this year. It's just not like one side.
Super competitive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just saying though, I don't think it's an easy cakewalk that they're just gonna get out of there. I think they're gonna get challenged. And I think they're gonna get challenged. They're gonna have to step up and make it happen. So it's not a cakewalk. I'm saying this year, especially on that east side, you got some teams that Ohio State is not like they're gonna automatically win. They're gonna have to. These next 3 games is gonna be a dogfight. They got to get out of there.
I think you have to be honest with yourself about how good is Oregon before you decide. Because if we're saying Pac-12's weak. Of course, Oregon's the class of the Pac-12, but I'm just saying, are we saying Oregon could beat Michigan State? Are we saying Oregon could beat Michigan? I think they could beat Michigan. I think Michigan State beats Oregon. So if we're gonna say who's gonna get them, who's gonna blah blah blah. I mean, I'm just not that high on Oregon. I like them, but I don't think they're top 4 in the. I think if they make the playoff, they're out in the first round. Period. No matter what.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna agree that Oregon really outcoached and outplayed Ohio State, that talent gap was not evident that I saw. I'm just not that impressed with Ohio State this year. I don't think they did a good job of developing those 5 stars, because I think Michigan State's going to beat Ohio State. I think they're going to.
So MB, just getting back to your defensive issues with them, man, they've given up 7-13, 17, 7-24, and 17 last week. Besides the loss at Oregon. I mean, again, I think they get the blame for laying the egg when they get out of it, not while they in it. I mean, it may not be a lockdown defense, but that's definitely solid, because at the end of the day, that's what you're concerned about, points. How many you giving away?
Yeah, and I'm good with you saying in the fact, because they consistently play in the championship. I'm just saying this year though, right? I see it as much more competitive. That gap is closed, right? I agree with Jason. When I watched that Oregon game, I was like, you couldn't see that talent gap. Oregon was like playing man-to-man. They were staying on top of the receivers. They was doing all that. And then
again, that was the first start of a quarterback that now has a lot of starts. And listen, he's coming back next year.
But Oregon ran on them.
I'm
Oregon
just saying,
ran on them.
Right.
They didn't just catch them scheme. They didn't just screen. Michigan State can run it better than Oregon.
Okay. Yeah, based on what I'm seeing, I'm just saying the Big Ten is more competitive this year, and the people see it because they still got the most teams in the top 10. They see it. I mean, Michigan State lost against Purdue, but didn't fall. They still in the top 10.
And so, should be because they played on the road and didn't get blown out.
You say what?
The quality of mediocrity.
I said they were on the road and didn't get blown out. Though I tell you guys all the time, I think college football guys, they get in that room and that's not a loss, man. I'm telling y'all, when they get those games, like that Alabama game, like that's not an L, as we see. They didn't really lose. No. It was our line eyes saw Alabama lost.
Right. Yeah. I'm like I said, it's just that Big Ten is just a whole lot more competitive this year. I mean, you look at Illinois. They surprised somebody again. They surprised Penn State, and then they beat somebody else, Minnesota. Not to say Minnesota train killer, but Minnesota had Ohio State's on the ropes. I think was that the first game of the season, right?
The first game.
First game of the season. They could have easily beat them if their running back didn't get hurt because of the defense with the issue on defense.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Kevin's about to say it. Don't say it.
What?
Golly.
So I'm just saying,
Jason used to say that all the time.
Very competitive.
If only this, if only that. I know.
Well, I mean, you got to look at the film.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm saying Kevin hates hearing that.
So.
Does Oklahoma run the table at 8-0 going out west?
I told y'all heard me name my people. Oklahoma was the first name I gave. Listen, man, we can keep complaining by adding to these playoffs and all this other kind of foolishness, but it's the same teams we talking about. I don't care what y'all say.
You say the same team what, Caleb?
It's the same teams we talking about. You hear AA. We've been talking about Ohio State now for 10 minutes. Now AA just yell Oklahoma. We talked about Clemson in the beginning of the show. like let's come on, man.
Oh, AA tried to make it about Miami. You hear that?
What's that?
He tried to make it about Miami.
We're
back. We're back. 3 games.
I'm just saying in the ACC, we're back.
We're back this
at
year.
the end of the day, what I said last week going off the show is at the end of the day, we going to have the same conversation about these same teams.
Have what conversation, Caleb? What you talking about?
At the end of it all, these top 4, y'all can keep throwing these other names all you want to. I gave y'all the same 4 that's been there forever, and then Clemson gets swapped out this year with somebody new. So that's somebody else's opportunity. Clemson not being there.
What's your top 4? Who's your top 4?
I said Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State.
Oh.
So that's Clemson swap, Georgia for Clemson.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Cincinnati? God, they did
For
them
what?
Dirty. They did them dirty. They did them worse than we thought they were going to do them.
They did.
They obliterated,
right?
Even humoring them with a chance.
Yeah.
They looked at their schedule, said, "Thanks for playing." Literally, have a nice day. Get out.
And that's what should have happened. I said that in the beginning. Like when we were after their big win against Notre Dame, I told y'all I read the rest of that schedule and said, how on earth none of y'all will vote them in after that? I don't care what they do from now on. I said, and they can't have any close games, and they've had 2 already since that time.
Yeah, but
I think they did them dirty because I thought at least would just like at least have some foreplay with it in the sense of the first thing had them up, and then based on their schedule, I was like, they're not playing nobody, so eventually they'll get taken over. But they ain't even play around with it. They're like, nah, we ain't even teasing y'all. Y'all ranked low. And
you know what that tells
another
would y'all have
another team they ain't show no love for is Oklahoma as well. Oklahoma wasn't in there. They were down there as well.
Just wait.
But I'm just saying with Cincinnati,
they're never in there right now either.
I
Think
thought
about
it. Like have
who's the last team in, Jason? Who's always getting yelled at for how did they get in again?
Yeah. But
Who's that?
Doesn't that de-incentivize scheduling tough out-of-conference games? Why should Cincinnati ever do this again? Why? It gets them nowhere. It gets them nowhere. They scheduled this Notre Dame game a long time ago. I mean, didn't
one game? You gonna need more than that. If you're playing in a trash conference, MB said this early on. He said they're ranked 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it was, and the next team in the conference that the only other team was ranked was 23. MB said, and I was like, well, MB, you telling the story right there. What's about to happen?
Yeah.
No way in the world.
Can they beat Alabama? No. Can they beat Georgia? No.
Probably
no way. Beat Oklahoma?
No.
Could they beat Ohio State?
Stop it.
I think they could play with Oklahoma.
The only way they can justify is all these other guys get losses, and then they're the only undefeated team sitting there.
It still's not gonna happen.
Most likely not.
We're gonna be like LB then. Tulane could have easily beat them.
But that tells me they're scared. They don't have the confidence in their top 5 to put Cincinnati in there. They're like, somebody might get another loss, and we'll have to argue that later. So they wanted to go ahead and get Cincinnati out of there because they think Alabama might drop one. They think Oklahoma's got one in them. Ohio State might be a 2-loss team. That tells me they don't have the confidence.
Georgia might have a loss.
Cincinnati a whole serve.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the only way Bama's going to get in if they beat Georgia.
Get in where?
They got a collision course with Georgia. They got to beat.
Hey, Alabama ranked 1 or 2. No, number 2.
It don't matter. It don't matter. You can't. Okay, so you're saying that if Bama loses against Georgia, they still in?
I'm telling you. Listen, we can make this sound pretty, man. Alabama in. And I said that before too. 1 or 2 losses, they in. Like, who's gonna talk them out of it?
I think LSU almost did.
We don't have strong teams behind them. Or then you go on a 2-loss Big Ten team. That would be next.
Well, I mean, if the Big Ten got a 1 loss
about Oregon ain't working.
You said what?
Nothing in the Big 12. Like it's SEC Big 10. Period. That's 1A, 1B, however you want to look at it this year. ACC gets 0 representation. It's just not enough fighting out there to stop a situation like that from occurring. This has been a crazy year. Normally, if an ACC team is involved, obviously not. But sorry, you just got one Power 5 completely out of it. Pac-12 completely out of it. I think Oregon loses again. Sorry. And then from that point, who you going with?
For me, I think right now, right, if Oregon finishes undefeated, they're not going to put Ohio State leapfrog in front of Oregon because they beat Oregon won a head-to-head matchup. So Oregon, to me, all right, if they continue to go undefeated, even though they're not playing anybody else ranked in their division, I don't think anybody ranked in their division. I can't see them leapfrogging Ohio State over Oregon just because Oregon won the head-to-head battle, and just like I said, the issues that Ohio State had on defense and Oregon exposed them. So I don't see that happening, just for me. So for me, I look at it. If Oregon finished undefeated, Oregon is in, which I was surprised that they were ranked that high based on the college football committee ranking when it came out. I was like, wow, but I was like, dang, they're in. And if Oklahoma finished undefeated, they get to play some ranked teams within their division, so that's going to help solidify their strength of schedule. Then they're in. And so for me, I don't know. I don't see if Bama loses against Georgia, I don't see how they're going to be able to get in.
Oregon's got Washington State, Utah, and Oregon Oregon State. They got 3 games left.
Right, and then they got the Pac-12
And then they got the
The
championship.
championship.
Yeah.
And who they got? Who they'll have?
They'll have the South side, so they'll have basically either if Utah finish right now, Utah lead the South or Arizona State. There's nobody ranked.
Okay.
Herm,
hopefully they play Herm. Herm gonna put something together for them.
Yeah, they don't play nobody ranked.
Right now they would play Utah, and they already play Utah in the next 2 weeks.
Right, so they may have to play them again. So I don't see. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, they may not lose then.
I don't know if they're.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they don't lose based on what
they're in
college football, I think they're in.
Yeah, if they run it, they're in.
I think they're in.
Alabama.
Oklahoma State undefeated, they're in just because they play Oklahoma State. They play other teams that's ranked, and I think now you get a one-loss Big Ten. I think that'll push Alabama out if Alabama loses against Georgia.
But hold on, so Jason, let's make this even worse. So Alabama beats Georgia.
Yep.
In the championship game, now what?
That's different.
Because they gave Alabama that same courtesy last 3 years ago, so they'll have to put Georgia in. So are we basically saying Alabama and Georgia are a lock no matter what now?
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but I'm saying
even if Oklahoma, Oregon State, and Ohio State run the table.
And listen, I told y'all who gets in. At the end of the day, we talk about basketball blue bloods. Well, we always forget there's football blue bloods.
Right.
And the argument that I have with everybody every year, anytime they're even close, is that Notre Dame talk. Say they in. So
all they got to do is
that's why I named to y'all the football blue bloods. They're in. I don't care how they figure it out and let y'all yell about it and talk about how it ain't fair. I'm just telling you, I named the same teams.
Yeah. And then David, what's your thoughts?
That'll cause an expansion.
David? Huh?
No, I got Alabama. Well, if Alabama wins out, I think I agree with K. Lou. They're going to be in if they win out. Georgia, obviously. I think Oklahoma, because they got Baylor. I think Baylor lost, but they're still ranked. And Oklahoma State the last game. So if they win out, they're in. And if Oregon wins out, I'll go with Oregon.
Yeah. Now, what's your thoughts if Alabama's if they lose against Georgia?
Ooh. I don't think you could put them in if Ohio State wins out.
Yeah.
I don't think you put a 2-loss Alabama in if Ohio State wins out.
So they're going to keep – DeHaven kept the richest conference in football out of the Final Four.
Who's that?
Good luck with that.
Who? You said the richest conference?
They're going to have representation.
If but like Oregon beat Ohio State head to head.
I hear all that.
Beat them in Columbus.
I hear all that. Listen, remember how
Phil Knight got money too.
What year was it? Right. What year was it, MB, when they went to explaining how his quarterback was hurt that game? And remember the CFP got out, or maybe it was the BCS one year, and they really got into detail about what they were saying, and the conversations was in there, and it was like, yeah, they lost, but this guy was injured. And I think actually the dude did it recently. The chairman of it this time spoke and said that somebody was hurt that game. And so they looked into it and measured and basically took that into consideration. So I'm telling y'all, Ohio State was playing with a brand new quarterback. That was his first game. Now I ain't saying it's right. I'm just telling y'all how they gonna make it. You know what I mean? That's the conversation. Jason, for me, it's like hell. What? Yeah. It never works out like that.
Yeah.
So they got the same record, and you still put Ohio. I just don't.
They're coming out of the best conference, and they're going to be the champ of the best conference. I tried to make it sound good, saying 1A, 1B, but it's clearly a 1 and a pause and another pause, and then SEC's number 2. The Pac-12 ain't even on the page. They somewhere with the ACC. we would feel comfortable putting NC State, sending them out there playing Oregon, and think we have a chance.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna send NC State or any other ACC team anywhere in the Big Ten this year. Anywhere, not nowhere. You like, no, we ain't gonna take that game.
I mean, I see the argument because they play in a lot more ranked. You got Michigan and Michigan State left.
Everybody ranked every week. They play in the NFL this year. You know how SEC teams yell at? They seriously doing that.
Head to head, I just can't. Lou, a head to head argument is going to be really difficult for somebody.
No doubt. No doubt.
Head to head argument.
I agree. No, I'm just saying they gonna.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm not disagreeing with what should happen. I'm just telling you what will happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know if Johnny Cochran can defend that this year.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let's not forget a 2-loss Alabama team made it one year. How you fix that, Jason?
You don't.
Yeah. But Jason, let me ask you a question though. What's the scenario where Cincinnati can make it in your opinion?
Oh man. Well, first off, zombie apocalypse. No, so basically, I mean, Alabama's gonna have to lose to Georgia. We're gonna have to just assign Georgia number one. We're gonna have to forget about one spot spoken for. Alabama's gonna have to lose again and hope the committee doesn't put them in. Ohio State's gonna have to drop again. Oklahoma maybe could. It may not be as hard as we're thinking because I'm sitting there talking about it. Oregon's not guaranteed not to drop something. At some point, if enough other teams have 2 losses,
right?
I'm not saying they'd be wrong head to head, but they would be wrong based on the criteria that they preach themselves to these teams.
Right.
Win and get in. Win and get in. Not win, lose. But if you get in. Now it's win, lose, still lose. Okay, still you get in. Like if a 2-loss team gets in over Cincinnati, it's going to cause major changes, I think, to the CFP. And maybe that's what they want. Maybe they want the expansion.
Yeah.
Maybe they want to let top 6 get in and top 2 get a first-round bye. I mean, maybe that's what they really want, But it's going to have to be 2 teams losing another game before Cincinnati gets a shot. I don't think they will find a way to put any 1-loss team in over Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I agree with that. And like we said earlier, just the fact because Cincinnati's strength of schedule. I mean, only pretty win they have is Notre Dame, and Notre Dame helps in case they keep winning, but still they got to have more firepower if they try to crash the dance, Yeah. That's just tough. Yeah. But I mean, they're a good team. Cincinnati, I think they're good. I think when I see they're a good team,
Yeah, Luke Fickell's a good coach.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely a good team.
I wonder if he jumps to one of those other big jobs. He's a native Ohio, but I wonder if he jumps to one of those other big jobs.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's definitely a scenario. So who's in your 4, Jason?
With 4 of what I think, or the 4 best teams. You know what I mean?
Whatever, however you want to say it, however you want to slice
it. 4 best teams. I'm gonna have to say with K-Lou, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Oklahoma, interchangeable. The way I see Oregon, Oklahoma, neutral field, 50-50. It's hard for me to really put one of them over the other, but the most talented teams in America, Ohio State, Georgia, Florida. Ohio State, Georgia, Alabama.
Well, you mentioned about Florida, so let's talk about that today.
For what?
Dan Mullen came out and fired his DC.
Everybody.
Fired his offensive line coach. Then it's a story saying that his starting quarterback, who was scheduled to play, he had a concussion, hurt his knee dancing. I mean, is this the end for Dan Mullen? I mean, I think K-Lou was mentioning something about this.
Y'all was hating on me. I was hating on him.
I don't think it is, though. I don't think it's still the end. I think he at least gave himself one more year by firing the DC. I knew the DC was gone. I was like, he gone. I knew that. I think I called that out, but I think still he got a chance. But go ahead, K-Lou. You think he's gone?
I think my problem, man, with him has been you guys. And when I say you guys, is everyone knows they're super talented, and that's gonna get them shipped out. It's not like, it's a team around here, and we're like, man, he ain't got no help. They struggling here, they weak there. Man, you like, no, this is a team that can line up with anybody. Like anybody. And they showed us when they could easily beat Alabama. They definitely lined up, and it should have been a win. I mean, think about what the papers were saying afterwards. If that was Urban, if that was Jimbo, that would have been a win. That's exactly what they said. And then Jimbo messed around and made them right by doing it. So I think Dan Mullen's problem is the talent level that all of us see on the football field. And so whether you're a Florida fan or not, it's like, man, stuff ain't right there. Because I think you and Jason both, who were they playing recently? Against Georgia. Like, they really had a shot.
No, Jason said that. I didn't think so.
Oh, okay, my bad. Well, he's not saying that. Both of them can't be true. Like, they can't really have a shot. But there's nothing wrong with Dan Mullen.
Those decisions.
What's your thoughts?
No, I'd say those decisions at the end of the half against Georgia were inexcusable.
Oh, that lost them the game.
I mean, that was bad. So they do have some talent. I think they give him one more year. Because he fired everybody. So he's trying to take the heat off himself. Maybe somebody made him, but I think it gives him one more year. And if he doesn't do anything next year, he gone.
But how do you do something next year? Because my argument with you guys, I like the other guy better than Richardson. And he's poo-pooed on him. He's out the door. Now you got a guy that you claim can throw it and run it that don't run so well to me. I mean, he's a big, huge body, but he really is just like bouncing around. I guess it's reminiscent of Tebow, except for he ain't got an all-pro offensive line in front of him.
What the only thing I say that with K-Lou, I mean, to me, that's the issue. That's one of the issues, just inconsistency at quarterback, because the other guy played and he stunk up the field versus who they took the L to. South Carolina beat him, so.
Yeah, but they're abysmal now. And you heard him say the whole team had flu. Like,
you say what?
This was a game that I don't think really mattered. Like, I'm scratching this off of his resume. Yeah, and he mentioned after the game that a bunch of the players didn't even play because they had the flu.
Yeah, but
I'm saying, like, I'm gonna give him this excuse that, like, he wasn't at full strength at all, and so of course that quarterback wasn't, and the quarterback didn't even know he was suiting up and playing till this fool hurt his knee. So you know how that go with kids, especially preparation. It's like, oh, I ain't playing.
I don't know. Well, the other guy was out, and then he came back. I don't think he practiced until late in the week. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think,
And remember, he's young too. This is his first year starting.
I know, exactly. So to me, I'm like, last year he had a super power offense. I mean, record-breaking offense, Kyle Trash, all that stuff. He's still inconsistency at quarterback is his bus pass. I think that gives him one more year, just the fact of inconsistency at quarterback, because, like I said, the other guy played and stunk up the place and didn't do well this past game as well. Nobody did well. And so it's just that they've been inconsistency at that one position, at that quarterback spot. That two-headed monster did not work well this year.
But see, and that's why I don't see how you make that switch. Like, the guy who you're saying, Jones, that stunk it up, his issue really was turnovers.
Yeah,
that was his thing. He was turning over the football, and I know that's huge, and he has to take care of the football. But he has he throws the ball well. He's more of that run because I have to type of guy, and he runs it well when he actually decides to run it. That's his quarterback, and he shouldn't have been. concerned about the whispers from alumni and the fans wanting Richardson the entire time. He's been fighting that the entire time since training camp, and he succumbed to it and didn't let this guy work through, the younger guy Jones work through his mistakes. And I just felt like he should have. And Richardson, in the biggest game, I felt like of Florida's year against Georgia, showed why he had no business ever on the football field unless it was a, how it is, scripted play type of situation.
Yeah. Jason, what's your thoughts, man? You think Dan got another year, or you think this is the end?
I think this is the end, man. I mean, what are you going to see? What are you going to see for another year? I mean, I think this is the end. The patience kind of expired last year, really. I mean, there was a lot of letdown and a lot of thinking you were going to finally see this year the fruits. And, I mean, you see flashes of it. But in my opinion, and I'll defer to you guys, when you see flashes of something but not the finish, that's coaching. Because the flashes is the talent. So now if you got the talent and not the result, then it's coaching.
There you go.
Yeah, I think this is it.
I think they make a mistake if they don't pull the trigger, MB, especially with Dion still like that. No,
so you voted for Dion to be
no, honestly, I'd make a push for Scott Frost or Josh Heupel in a situation right there. It's already ready made. They just got to come in with their offense. That thing already set for them. You know that kind of coach. You know what I mean? That can come in and give you instant offense. That's what they need. Dan Mullen, I think he's been overrated the whole time, man. Like what he did.
Last year he had instant offense.
Come on, man. Let's be honest. Like it was straight jump ball actions with our guys on the outside are better than yours, and we got one of the best players, if not the best player in college football, in the middle. Like every receiver outside was like deboing people out there. Like they throwing jump balls and they going to get it. It was very reminiscent. Sorry, Jason, of seeing your guy his freshman year throwing it out there to everybody. That's just coming over people's backs and everything, climbing ladders, hanging off poles, and getting every ball they throw out there.
I don't know. This is. I defer to Kalu. He's right. I really got nothing to
add. Yeah, that was definitely part of it. But I don't know. He was killing Alabama with that wheel right out the backfield. He has some speed on there. He know how to attack their scheme. So
speaking of coaching, MB, they want you at Alabama State, baby.
Alabama State, baby. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's go get it. we got our recruiting department, the rivals. See, we ready to go.
Oh, Jason going now. Jason gonna be there, LB. He gonna beat you there.
Okay. We going, baby.
I'm gonna log on.
Evaluate nobody. We laying rivals.
The rivals golf shirt on. Hey, what's up, fellas?
Hey, let's transition to the NFL, man. Hey, who we have for He's a Problem, Kalu? Who you had for the NFL this weekend, man?
Man, I had that running back out of Indianapolis that's still running right now, ain't it, y'all? Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
They beat the Jets 45-30, brought them back to reality. 19 carries, 172 yards, 10 rushes. 10 yards a carry. Actually 9.1, but it sounds better saying 10 a carry. I'm on round it up, baby. 2 touches, a longer 80 yards. But 172 yards you giving on the ground, MB, as a backer and as a defensive captain, you're going to lose every game you get up over 170 yards to one dude. You ain't going to win that game. That's not in the things to do to win this game that are listed on the board all week in practice. Give up 172 yards.
Can't stop that run. You're in trouble, baby. You're in trouble. And then my man, Double A, his computer crashed on him. He had the Terminator, man, John Connor. What, you had him too? Oh, no, that's just your team. So we got him. He's a problem. All right, without Kyler Murray, real problem, 174 total yards and three, not one, not two, but three. It sounds like Sesame Street counting. 1, 2, 3. How many links to the center of a lollipop, right? He getting it done, man. John O'Connor, man.
Never know.
He's a problem. Jason, man, who you got, baby?
Sam Darnold, man. He's a problem. He is our problem. Sam Darnold's my problem, man.
No.
Honestly, it's the fucking it's the training staff. Listen, man, he should never have been allowed to play. That man should not have been on the field. I know I'm supposed to pick a guy that played well, but man, he's a problem right now.
He was clowning, Jason.
He was clowning. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know.
Well, hey, basically, he wanted to play, man, because Christian McCaffrey back in, man. So Christian, that's what pushed him,
I don't think. Honestly, man, I think it was not Christian. I think it was knowing that PJ Walker and the gulf in the passing talent that was off behind him. I think that's really what it was, and he just even for bad Sam Darnold, he didn't look like he should be playing. Game was worse than a bad Sam Darnold game, in my opinion. I just don't think he was ready to play. I don't think he should have played.
All right, DeHaven, before I get to you for he's a problem, I want to. So let me ask you this, right? Musical chairs. Who's on the hot seat more at quarterback? All right, Sam Darnold, Jimmy G, or Jets White versus Wilson, or Saints. You throw that in. They took an L. They had who's gonna be which team is gonna make the change of quarterback first?
You asking me?
Yeah. Who you got?
I'm sorry. I thought you were looking. Oh man. I mean, it's gonna have to be the Saints because I think they are the most playoff ready team. I mean, I know San Fran, they kind of know what they've got. I think they've got an outside chance this year. But I think the Saints are going to learn. Trevor Siemian's not going to get them there. He's a serviceable quarterback, but they're going to have to do something. So I think my call is going to be the Saints.
Saints. Okay, Lou, who you think which team would make the move at quarterback? Carolina Panther, 49ers, Jets, or the Saints?
Are we serious? This is a real question?
Yeah.
The Jets, they always gonna make moves first. Like they're always in the toilet bowl, man. It don't like they change positions and people like musical chairs. Yeah, the Jets. I don't care what question it really is and who's it pertaining to. As long as it's negative, it's the Jets.
So you hold on. So you think the Jets when Wilson come back healthy, right? You think they'll still start White in front of them?
Yeah. They're going to make the wrong choice, MB. Listen, teams like that rarely make the right choices. So, again, it doesn't matter what you're talking about. I'm going with the Jets if it sounds negative. It's a negative
All right, David, who you got, man?
I'm gonna go with San Francisco. I'm gonna go with San Francisco. If they lose to the Rams next Monday night, I think the season's lost, and I think the pressure comes from ownership for them to go ahead and start developing Trey Lance. Even though Jimmy hasn't played that bad, but they'll be 3-6. I think the Carolina. I don't think they put PJ Walker in over Darnold yet. I think they give him another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then there's talk maybe Phillip Rivers might come to the Saints, or people been calling about Phillip Rivers. But I think the Saints will stick with Simeon a little bit while longer as well. I think if the 49ers lose next week to the Rams on Monday, I'm going to go with start developing Trey Lance. I think 49ers make that move.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, we said. I agree with you on that. That could be a possibility. But who you got for he's a problem, baby? I just wanted to talk about that quarterback musical chairs right quick. Get your opinion. Look at that, baby.
I've got the Tennessee Titans defense. I thought they played a masterful game last night. 2 picks, 5 sacks, 11 quarterback hits. Dusted off AP. AP got a touchdown at age 36. But that defense was on the Rams all last night in Los Angeles. And it just hurt my heart when you see a well-coached team like that. And you look how the 49ers played, but you look at Vrabel. That's a well-coached team. They win in a lot of different ways.
Right.
Derrick Henry. But that defensive line, Autry and Jeffrey Simmons, boy, I think Matthew Stafford's still having nightmares about them tonight.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Jeffrey Simmons had 3 sacks. He was a problem by himself. He was getting done. You're right.
That's it. I mean, in the secondary, Bayer had a pick 6.
Yep.
They just really, and the Rams are a good team. So,
man, you're right. That defense can't rip. But do you, K-Lou, do you think that Tennessee can continue this success without Derrick Henry?
No. At the end of the day, we know what their formula is: play great defense and run the football. When do they need that the most? In the playoffs. And AD is a great, or AP, sorry, is a great addition. I done shifted the basketball.
No, it's AD too. It's AD for all day. That's his nickname. No, that's his nickname all day.
So he's an answer for now, but he's not going to be able to play and be that workhorse. I mean, they need a guy that's going to be able to tote it 25, 30 plus times a game, and if not, then he need a running back by committee. I mean, we've seen that done as well. The Giants did it masterfully a few times with that kind of combination, and I just don't think that they can be who they are for long without Derrick Henry.
They're going to go in as number 1. That division so weak, they might get the number 1 seed. They beat a lot of good teams the last couple of weeks on defense. Kansas City, Buffalo. So they've been.
Remember, I fast forwarded all the way to the playoffs, though.
Yeah, even if they had straight to the playoffs. Home field, K-Lou. Even if they had home field.
So what's your thoughts, David? So you think they can continue the success without Derrick Henry?
If that defense can play like that, I think they're well coached. If that defense can continue to play like that, it'll be a matchup. It depends who they match up with. If we're going all the way to the postseason, it's about matchups, right? Who do they match? Who depends on who they would match up with. Somebody like Baltimore would give them problems. I think they matched up with didn't play well against Baltimore last year, but I still think if Kansas City limps in, I think they can get them. There's a lot of teams. And I think they can get Buffalo. Buffalo's they got beat by Jacksonville last weekend and only put up 6 points.
Right.
So Tennessee can win in a lot of multiple different ways.
Okay.
He's winning ugly in the playoffs.
Jason, let me ask you this question. Speaking about limping in, right? Which team has the best chance? 3 and 5 teams got the best chance of making the playoff this year. All right, Seattle, 49ers, Minnesota. We stay in the NFC. Which out of those 3 teams, Seattle, 49er, Minnesota's, which team has the best chance to make it?
You didn't give me a lot of good choices, man.
Yeah, I know it's 3 and 5.
Russell coming back. He coming back.
Yeah, but it's gonna. That's tough. That's tough, man. I guess Seattle. Because they have the best excuse, I suppose, of the 3. But that's tough. That's tough. I guess Seattle. But if you're basically handing me like 3 turd sandwiches and want to know which one I want to take a bite out of, you know what I mean? I mean, honestly, I'm not just saying this for DeHaven. Of those 3 teams, I like San Francisco the best because even just this year, I think they have shown the most outside of Minnesota playing well with Baltimore. I think they've shown the most of when they're on this year.
It is, Dave.
But it just
not with Kyle Shanahan at the helm. They look awful.
Kyle Shanahan.
They beat 3 bad teams. I mean, it's not, and there's a lot of problems. No secondary. I mean, we look like an expansion team, that secondary on Sunday. We got beat by the Arizona Cardinals B team. Something's wrong.
Oh, so who your choice? I guess it's definitely not 49. Who you think out of that 3 and 5 teams?
I think it's Seattle. There's talks that OBJ might land there and that he wants to play there. So I just think Russell Wilson just gives them the best chance. I like Kirk Cousins as well, but Minnesota just can't seem to get over the hump. So I'm just going to go with Seattle because it seems like they're always in the game with Russell Wilson. So they'll eke out some close wins.
And I would go with Minnesota just because that NFC West division is tough, Mm-hmm. So it's going to be hard to pull 3 teams out of there. So I just go with Minnesota by default just because where they're at. They only got Green Bay, you know, and then you got to deal with Chicago, Detroit. So they got an easier path, you know, I would go, you know. K. Lou, speaking of OBJ, man, where does he end up at? Where do you think? Well, where would you like to see him end up at?
Okay, DeHaven saying that is tremendous, but let's be honest. I thought immediately Baltimore. I think he would get the hero's welcome that he feeds off on, going to somewhere like that that's in a position where they're begging for anybody to come play of notoriety to come play wide receiver for them. Versus if he goes into Seattle, it's expectations. It's a different story. You show up at Seattle versus Baltimore. They'll give him a honeymoon period, a year or two, to get it together, but he won't have that same, you know, kind of hero's welcome in a lot of other places. I think. So I would love to see him at Baltimore, but hearing DeHaven say that, I mean, if he wants to go there, he's at the point in his career, nobody wants to touch him if he's sounding like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
The teams that will want him, if they hear anything that says, oh, he really don't like us, they ain't touching him. So I hope.
Well, I mean, you're right. He's got to clear waivers first, you know, and I think it's like 9 teams that have the cap space to take him. But he already made it known that he wants to go to a playoff team. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's the thing, you know. So it's 9 teams that have the cap space. I think it's well. First of all, let's ask this question. Then I guess let me see the 9 teams. Jason, what's your thoughts? You got, I think Cincinnati has the cap space. Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nope.
Seattle Seahawks got the cap space. Who else I'm missing? Shoot, I'm trying to find it. It's like 9 teams that got it. The Lions, obviously, they got the cap space, but Dan already said he ain't touching them, you know.
And then MB, he also said that he wants the rest of his money this year. Like, just the wrong attitude right now, man. I don't understand that. And if I'm a team that's thinking about him anywhere close to past this season, I ain't touching him.
Yeah. Look how Cleveland played Sunday without him. They actually look great.
Yeah.
They look. I mean, Baker didn't throw for a lot of yards, but it looked like, I think, you know, they didn't have to force feed anyone the ball. I thought a lot of times they were trying to force feed Odell. Now, Odell's daddy's video was no lie, though. There was a lot of times he was open.
Right.
that was dirty, but it was times.
Well, it depends on if he open because he making up routes.
That's true.
One of the things, or is it, you know what I'm saying?
That's
or
true.
If he ran a legit route, you know, because that's the thing that if what we reading is true, it's like he making up different routes. You know, they're on the same page. So the quarterbacks like this don't know where to throw the ball because he don't know what route he's running. You know, based on if you believe the rumors. So I don't know. Here's the team that's got cap space if he clears waivers. You got Jacksonville Jaguars, you got Philadelphia Eagles, Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks, Carolina Panthers, Jason, the Chargers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Washington football team. They all currently right now, he got released. They have the cap space to pick up his salary for the season.
The Chargers, I can see him in LA with the Chargers.
I see him one spot. Yeah.
Cincinnati, maybe. I mean,
so would he clip? So
standpoint, and trying to stick it to Cleveland.
So first of all, would somebody claim him off waivers? You think, K-Lou, would one of these teams claim him?
Yeah, Seattle. He's out.
Okay, Jason, will he get claimed? Will he clear waivers or not?
No.
No meanings. You think somebody's going to pick him up off this list?
Yeah.
Who would you think?
K-Lou's got a point, Seattle.
Okay.
If they weren't afraid of DK Metcalf, if his off the field stuff, if they weren't afraid of Josh Gordon, oh my God, if they weren't afraid of Josh Gordon, they're taking OBJ. So
John Schneider always goes for talent.
No doubt.
John Schneider always goes for talent. I mean, like I said, I'm hearing rumble in Seattle, but a nice team on that list could be the Chargers, though. I mean,
he's not doing that. He just failed in the Baker Mayfield experiment. He's not going to another young quarterback.
But Justin Herbert,
I'm saying if the Chargers right now, he ain't got a choice. If they take him, you know.
But see, MB,
And they'll
here we go back to that power thing. Like, I think he controls where he's going. Because he's the type of guy that said, hey, you can do anything you want. I won't show up. Now what?
Okay, Lou, I think Justin Herbert's a little bit better than Baker Mayfield.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's not. I think he's way better. The problem is he wants to listen. He got spoiled. He now realizes how good he had it with Eli. You know what I mean? And so he's not going to go to another situation that's still iffy. Doesn't matter. He's doing well without him, right? So that means he don't need me as well.
Yeah. And Seattle has such a terrible defense. They need as many offensive weapons as possible.
Right. He knows if he goes to Russell Wilson that he gonna force feed him. He gonna find ways to get him that football.
I mean, but I say this, do they need him though? Because you got Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett, you know. To me, he's not a necessity. I see though, but it's all I agree with you, Seattle, man. They collect talent. And that will put their offense over the edge, right? Yeah. Having them in there. But I don't know. You know, would you like to see that combination? I guess.
Think my problem right now is maybe the conversation we should be having is Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, is he just a marketing ploy? I mean, or is he still top 10 wide receiver? I think that's the argument. I don't think all of us would agree that he's top 10. And maybe that's part of this.
You think Tyler Lockett's better than him right now?
I'm just saying.
Who, me?
Yeah. Or anyone.
Yeah, I think Lockett is better than him right now as far as
he will play what? He will play the slot. He'd be the slot receiver. Because you got.
Did you hear him? He said production.
Yeah, Lockett can play now. Lockett don't get a lot of recognition, but Lockett can play. He'd
be the third fiddle in that offense. They don't have a running. Chris Carson's got like a long-term neck injury.
Yeah, but I can see them making that move and just open up the offense especially with Russell being cleared to come back now. I think definitely. But would they pick him up? Would they claim off waivers? I don't know. You know, I can see they're a team that's not afraid of him. You know, they're not afraid what they bring.
Well, don't they get into a bit of a bidding war if they have this opportunity? He clears waivers now. He goes to a situation that you know. And then for Odell, then I think it probably becomes because he's saying he wants his, I think, $7.9 million left for this season.
Well, you're talking about if he don't. So you're saying that if he clears waiver, then he still want to get paid his money, right?
Right.
And I think he gets that anyway, just because he's a veteran getting cut and he was on the roster the first game. Yeah. I think his salary is already guaranteed. You know.
Oh, okay. Well, then
he gets that money.
That's not an issue. But Odell, then he's just gonna go to whoever, like playoff wise, because I think he realizes that his brand, as it relates to football, now outside of football, he's actually something different. You guys, he's transitioning, truthfully, but his brand, as it relates to football, no, we're not having Odell Beckham conversations anymore.
Yeah,
so he has to play for a winner and has to actually do well with that winner. So he can't go to any of these teams, guys, that aren't a guarantee to be in the mix. He just can't. He can't afford it to his personal brand.
Then if he don't mind a small market, last thing I'll say then is he should look at someplace like Green Bay.
Absolutely. I think he'd fly over there if he clears waiver.
I would like to see him at Kansas City.
Ooh. Even better. He'd fly
that's
there
where
too.
I think
like he'll tell them he'll pay his own salary, MB.
I would like to see him at Kansas City. I think being at Kansas City, he can revitalize his career. He can get it. He got a quarterback. They can make up stuff. He can run wherever route he want to run. You know what I'm saying? And what's his name would get it to him. You know, I think Kansas City would be the spot. You know,
I mean, I think that'd be unfair, MB. I'd rather him in Baltimore.
With him going to Baltimore,
I need to help Lamar out, man. Lamar doing.
I mean, selfishly, I like to see because I was talking about Deshaun Jackson. Somebody going to help out. They need a number one receiver, but
AB turned him down this offseason.
Hey, I got to roll, fellas. Sorry,
okay.
All right, Jay.
Sorry.
Hey,
yeah, I don't see him going to Baltimore, taking a chance. Baltimore with Lamar. I don't think so. I think he would go to a proven passer if it's up to him. Somebody he knows that can give him the ball, feed him the ball. And I would think, like I say, Kansas City and Green Bay would be at the top of my list. Yeah. And if he doesn't clear waivers on that team, on that list of teams that have the cap, I would say Seattle. And the other spot I would like to see him at, I think that they probably need to consider is maybe Cincinnati Bengals.
Got a young receiver room. Do you want him coming up? Influence.
Well, I'm just saying, Joe.
Well, they are LSU guys, though. Chase is an LSU guy. Burrow's an LSU guy.
That's what I'm saying. Just the LSU. And I know Landry was an LSU guy at Cleveland, but I just think from that standpoint, out of the teams that can claim him, I think the two best would be either Seattle or Cincinnati.
He turning that down, MB. That Cincinnati deal.
Well, you can't turn it down. Oh, as far as he don't show up, he just loses.
I keep telling you.
He don't show up, he losing money.
You know? I'm telling you, he gonna let them know. And who won't? Especially a situation that they got two young guys that they see being together for the next 8 to 10 years. You're not gonna take a risk with that.
No, I'm not saying they would take a risk. I'm just saying based on the list, out of the two, those are twos I think would be a good fit. You know, I don't think Cincinnati, they're normally don't do stuff like that, you know. You know, take a chance like that, you know. But I think out of the list, Seattle, and I think the next best choice would be Cincinnati. Just because the LSU connection, you know, Cincinnati still want to win. I think adding him to the mix definitely helped their offense a lot, you know, even more so. But yeah. All right, man. That's all I got, baby. That's all, man.
Appreciate you, DeHaven.
Appreciate y'all, man.
We appreciate y'all stopping through, rolling up, pulling up, hollering at us because you know us with sideline from sideline to baseline with MB and K. Lou. We are gone.
Thanks, D.
No problem.
Lord God, we just thank you, Father. Thank you for the show. In Jesus' name, pray, man. Yes, y'all.